It's Conduit News Radio with Paul Harrell.
Let's turn now. We do these segments called Young Conservative segments where we want to highlight someone who is younger, who is conservative. So I want to introduce you to Mr. Phillip Sayger is on the line. Phillip, how are you, sir?
So far, I'm doing cool and groovy. How about
Good.
you?
I'm doing well. Hey, tell us how old are you? And you're in college, right? What college you go to?
Well, I'm 22 years old, and I go to Arkansas Tech University at the moment.
All right. So you're now. Are you originally from the Pope County area?
I was actually born in Louisiana, but it was like so long ago, and for such a short period of time, I just basically say I was raised in Arkansas.
Okay. So, but is that in the Russellville area, or is that somewhere else in Arkansas?
It was definitely the Russellville area. I haven't really lived anywhere besides Russellville, except for Louisiana.
Okay. All right. So, Phillip, let's just dive right in. You're a conservative.
Okay.
You're a conservative. So, what does that mean to you? What does it mean to be conservative?
Well, I'm generally pro-life. I don't really support the idea of aborting babies. I don't believe in heavy amounts of government. I actually prefer that the government kind of stay out of some things, but although I do believe that some of it is necessary because of, historical scenarios such as the Great Depression and stuff, I don't believe the government should continue growing as it is.
Okay. So you believe you're pro-life and you don't think that the government should be bigger than it's supposed to be. And that really is the debate, right? Like, where is that line? And I think that's different for a lot of people, but generally, let's ask you this: what do you think about social welfare programs?
Social welfare, like Social Security?
Well, Social Security, yeah, that you could talk about that, but let's just talk about I don't know, you could talk about food stamps, or we could talk about Medicaid, or things like that. I mean, what do you think about where that's the government's? A lot of people think, well, that's just the government's responsibility. A lot of people think we need safety nets. But then you also have people that say, but we need to make sure that only those people who actually need it are on it.
I see what you mean. That's actually outside of my area of expertise. And I would suggest that the government minimize and, dabbling in those unless absolutely necessary. But it's hard to tell if, like you said, it's hard to tell if it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
Like Medicaid and Medicare and stuff like that, they've been becoming more and more needlessly complicated. I know this because I've been trying to, keep up with my insurance plans and all that fun stuff from Obamacare and stuff. And so it's like very difficult to keep track of.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. We're talking again with Phillip Sayger. He is a young conservative. He is a college student at Arkansas Tech. How did you're 22, so there's not a lot of conservative 22-year-olds out there. I mean, maybe there's more per capita in Arkansas, but a lot of times if you're younger, you tend to be more progressive or liberal. So how did you come to be a conservative?
Well, basically, I was kind of raised that way. I'm not saying that I never questioned it, but I have been looking around and, seeing what other people's choices were and seeing what other conservatives were and, whether or not they were right or not. And you know what? My parents were always conservatives, and I've never had any reason to believe that it was the wrong, worst way of doing things. I do keep an eye out for when conservatives, have an idea that's not exactly fully tested, and I will consider whether or not we're all wrong. But generally speaking, I'm still on the conservative side.
Yeah, no, and I think that's good to always be willing to see, because I'm open to changing my positions on certain issues if I have new information, or new data that proves me wrong. And that's the thing. Like, as a conservative personally, I'm constantly testing my worldview depending on what happens in the world. And when it comes to big government, I've been following it for a while, and it's always, you always have the promises. Hey, we want to expand government, but this is how it's going to work, and it's going to operate. It's going to be perfect, or it's going to, there's going to be more good than bad. And almost all, I would say always. However they sell an expansion of government is not the truth in the end, whether it's cost estimates or whether it's how it's going to operate. And to date, my worldview continues to be confirmed. But I am open to changing it if for some, at some point there's, more data or different results or something like that. We're talking with, again, Phillip Sayger. Phil, let me ask you this. You get any pushback for being a conservative on a college campus like Arkansas Tech from professors or students?
I do, actually, quite a bit. I'm actually a Christian, and a lot of times I'll make that known, in a gentle, subtle manner, just for discussion purposes. And a lot of times the professors are actually challenged that repeatedly. Evolution is heavily taught, and I don't believe that they have absolute proof that evolution exists. And so it's one of those scenarios where Christians are, attacked for believing in creationism, and evolution is pushed regardless of whether or not it's true. And another thing is, a lot of the students I'm around, they're a lot more liberal than I thought they would be, because I've recently been talking to a few of them, and they support a lot of ideas that I never thought that they would, especially some of the, other Christian ones. And it's like, wait, I thought y'all were Christians, and that Christians normally do believe this, but evidently I was wrong.
Interesting. Well, a lot of them could be on a journey. I went on a similar journey where, I as a Christian myself, Phillip. I love how you said that. Actually, I'm a Christian. It was I don't know why I thought it was funny, but I went on a journey, and I was more liberal in college, and what was interesting, and this is not true for all people, but the more liberal my theology got, the more liberal my politics got. And then at some point something clicked, and my theology started to get more conservative. And as that started to happen, and when I mean that specifically, let's just take, I believe the Bible literally. And so as that happens, or I try to interpret the Bible with the same hermeneutic all the way through. And so as that happens, Phillip, all of a sudden my politics become more conservative. It's like kind of a complete 180, if you will. That was my experience at college, as somebody who was raised to believe, more conservatively, theologically, but you kind of start listening to, I don't know, I can't really necessarily blame it on professors. I think it was just, I'll just blame it on myself. And, by the grace of God, things just kind of turn. So maybe some of your friends are going to go through that, it's a little different. After college, things get real quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know a little bit about what you mean.
Well, anyway, hey, I appreciate you coming on. It's always great to talk to a young conservative. And what are you majoring in, Phil?
Management and marketing.
Management and marketing. That's fantastic. And so you're about to graduate, I'm assuming, at 22.
And I see.
Say that again.
This is my second semester as a junior, so 1 year after this one.
Okay, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, I wish you the best of luck. Let's stay in touch, and let's maybe we'll do an interview like this again soon. And if anything ever big happens at the campus of Arkansas Tech University, like professors are promising bonus points to go vote in special elections or primaries, let me know. Okay.
I've never seen that happen, but I'll keep you posted.
Okay. Well, it did happen according to some reports. Okay. We appreciate it, Phillip. Thank you so much, sir. You have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay.